I'm back at home. Welcome, man. First of all, welcome back to the channel. Uh, Man, guys, I'm on a test drive. Today is Sunday, man. I'm actually still working, uh, doing dealership type work. Okay, I mean, as you can see, what is January 26th? I don't know if you can see that or not, but January 26th. Today is Sunday. I am home working. This is a Dodge Journey. I'm still kind of messed up, man. I just got the news about Kobe Bryant, of course, and wow, guys, wow, man. Life is short, man. Enjoy it while you're here, while you can, cause you never know. All right, this Dodge Journey, man. I'm working extra, working, man. It just seems like it never ends. But this is a special case. This car stalls out. Now, the reason I'm taking this personal is because I actually did some work on this car 3 days ago. Related to the complaint. She came in saying her car stalls out while driving. The only fault code was in the computer was a P0128. Everybody know what that is. Thermostat rationality. Now, with a thermostat call stalling out, I guess extreme cases it would, but it's highly unlikely. But because that is the only fault code that was in the computer, naturally we sold her thermostat and of course the coolant flush. So by doing that, I am obligated. I am now responsible for the original complaint she came in for, which was stalling. I now have to personalize this complaint and this vehicle because I attempted a repair based off the same complaint. In a dealership world, we call that a recheck. Okay, yes, I'm not too big. I'm not proud of it, but it happens from time to time. Again, I never thought that a thermostat would cause stalling out, and obviously that wasn't the case. The repairs we did didn't fix our problem, so she brought it back. We had to give her a rental, guys. Wow, we've taken a loss on this actually, but I feel obligated. I have to find out her problem. Now I just drove this thing. First of all, guys, you got to get out of the customer. You got to beat it out the customer. Whatever it takes, you got to get out of them the complaint. When it stalls out, do it cranks? Okay, I actually talked to the customer personally. She said when it stalls out, no, it doesn't crank. In fact, she had to make a phone call because it stalled out on her son. It doesn't go in. In fact, it does nothing. In fact, this is a push button. So when you push the button on the brake, it doesn't start back up right away. Okay, they said 15 minutes tops. Now, what that leads me to believe is, based off past experience, you might have a fuel pump issue. But guys, you got to understand, these newer cars, there's a lot of things controlling the fuel pump operation. Okay, fuel pump relay, which is sometimes mostly housed inside of a TIPM. So it's, oh my God, it's really hard to not duplicate. Well, in this case, it's hard to duplicate because I can't get it to do it. But it's hard to diagnose fuel-related complaints. Number one, there's no fuel pressure sensor, okay, on the fuel rail. For some reason, well, I know what the reason is. It was a safety issue. Chrysler did not, Dodge, whoever did not install a fuel pressure sensor on the fuel rail. The newer cars have that technology, okay? The sensor simply tells the computer what the fuel pressure is. That would have been great back in the older days, but because it was a safety issue, they had to scrap that idea and then go through with it. So now mechanics are forced with trying to duplicate fuel-related problems, okay? Now, again, I'm only basing this as being a fuel-related issue because they say after it stalls out, it takes 10, 15 minutes to start back up. Back in the day, we was under the assumption, and it turned out to be correct, that the car has 100,000 miles, so the fuel pump could possibly be wearing. Now, when it gets extremely hot, it just simply stops, okay? But we had ways of detecting that, or ways of leading us to that conclusion. We would use, back in the day, I would use symptoms. I would use scan to information such as adaptive memory long-term adaptive memory and short-term adaptive memory. I think some other scan tools, they call it trim, fuel trim. Okay, that's the same thing. Now, when just say for instance, if I had this problem 5-10 years ago, I would simply, it would set a code, but it wouldn't be fuel related. It'd be something like map not matching TPS, or map is off, or things like that. Now I would go under freeze frame. I will always go into freeze frame and look at adaptive memory, short-term and long-term adaptive memory. If I see a high number on the long-term adaptive memory, such as plus 20, ladies and gentlemen, that leads me to believe that the computer was trying to compensate for low fuel pressure. So I will use long-term adaptive memory and short-term adaptive memory basically as a fuel pressure gauge or a fuel pressure monitor system. Okay? High adaptive memory plus 20. Okay, I think it pegged out at 20. That always, or that, I wouldn't say always, but that always led me to believe I was losing fuel pressure somewhere. So if that was in the freeze frame data on the older model cars, yes, you getting a fuel pump. That simply means the computer was trying to compensate for low fuel pressure. All right, it was trying to adapt. It was trying to make some adjustments, and it recorded that during that time. Okay, I no longer have that luxury, guys. So only thing I can do, and I beat home to the customer that I have to duplicate it. Now, in the event that it happened on me, I can tell what I need to do. First of all, I have to have patience to wait till it start back up. But in the meantime, I have my scan tool with me and my devices with me where I can pinpoint and scan it and tell me what I'm missing to allow starting. But again, I don't have that luxury, man. Diagnosing is becoming complicated. Complicated to the, wow, it's crazy, man. But I got to duplicate this problem. 100 miles, I found a reason to drive way over to Fry's. If you're in the Atlanta area, you know about Fry's computer store. All right, that store used to amaze me. That store in Harbor Freight, I'm always like I'm in heaven when I'm in them stores. So I drove way out to 85 to go to Fry's just to find out Fry's was closed down. Wow. Okay. Anyway, it wasn't a wasted trip because I had to drive it anyway. What I'm trying to do is duplicate her stalling out problem. I asked her, was it on highway driving, freeway driving, or stop and go? At either rate, I did both. I drove on the freeway to get there, and I did city driving to get back. That's over 120 miles. Nothing. It didn't stall out. What do you do when that happens? You keep driving, or you have to duplicate the problem. You have to duplicate the concern. I could tell, or I can diagnose this car if I get it to do it. The only problem is that I can't get it to do it. Now, I can't give this car back to the customer because the problem may happen again on her. In fact, it will happen if I haven't done anything. If I hadn't made any adjustment or replaced any part. And I'm not going to guess at it, guys. That's always an option. I think we end up the very first repair. One of the parts was a guess. Not so much a guess. It's a part that would cause that. So you put two and two together because you couldn't duplicate it, and you realize, or you understand that a crank sensor could cause that. A cam sensor could cause that. Now, this is a 3.6 engine. There's two cam sensors on one on each cylinder head. It's a V engine, Pentastar V6. Okay, there's a cam sensor on each head. Okay, now cam sensor is pretty good at giving off fault codes. But the thing about fault codes, even with a crank sensor, the thing about fault codes is the problem has to be in a window, a small window, a parameter. Okay, in order to set a code. So if the window is like this and the problem is right here on the very edge, and it only crossed that line at a certain point, wow, it's gonna be hard to. It's gonna be hard, guys. All I'm doing is chit-chatting with y'all, man. I'm finna get back on the road. I'm at home. I'll go in the house, take a break. I think I got a quarter tank of gas. I do not want to put gas in this car with my hard-earned money, so I may have to and get reimbursed later. But only thing I can do is I have to duplicate it, guys. I have to duplicate it. And on top of that, the bad news I got in the sports industry or the sports world about Kobe, I'm pretty depressed and frustrated at the same time. So don't beat me up on this video, man. This is not a repair video. Okay, I'm just venting my frustration. And I'm talking about diagnostics. So somebody may get something out of this, okay? Somebody that's trying to diagnose intermittent problems, okay? This is what we call an intermittent problem. Now, another feature we used to have at our disposal back in the day is not freeze frame, is recorder. Damn, what's the name of it? Give me a second, guys. My brain is froze. Data recorder, okay? We used to tie into the system, have a data recorder, a push button right here. We put on the visor and plug into the data link connector, okay? What that does, when we would drive the car, when the problem happened, we would push the button. The computer would essentially take a picture of everything happened 5 minutes ago. Okay, 5 minutes ago. Now, that is almost the same as freeze frame. It go back a little bit, but the data recorder was very helpful. That feature is still used today. It's just I don't know what a tool is. We don't have the tool, the data link, the data recorder tools. I'm not at the dealer. I'm home. I'm working at home. So even if I had a data recorder, I still have to duplicate the problem. It has to happen on me before I can figure out. I wouldn't even need a data recorder if the problem actually happened, because I got enough sense to know what to do when the problem happened. I know what to check. I have my scan tool at my disposal, ready to go. Okay, I mean, it's all Wi-Fi now. I mean, I will have to use my data on my phone to Wi-Fi through Chrysler database. Of course, I got to give some information. Man, they want to know all this stuff. Why are you on their network after hours? This is after hours. Today is Sunday. Okay, I'm sure they record all this stuff, because I have to log in when I'm doing this. So if I'm driving, data recorder and Wi-Fi tethered through my phone through Chrysler database, trying to figure out why a car stalling out, they may want to know this. And I'm not doing nothing fishy or illegal. I'm literally trying to find out what's wrong with this car. All right, I'm tired. I'm tired of venting. Let me go in the house, grab me a bottle of water. I got a quarter tank of gas. I'm going to head back out and drive it some more. I am trying to duplicate. I am trying to find out why this car stalls out. Just stalls out. She said, we was just driving and it quit. Okay. Now, another thing about this is we was forced to put her in a rental. They put her in a rental. So really now the pressure is on me to figure out something, because they don't want to pay for rentals for the customer to drive in. All right. So remember, guys, I used to always complain about being married to cars. This is what I mean. Because I did a couple hour repair, basically the thermostat and, crank sensor or whatever, I'm now married to this car and I have to figure out why it stalls out. Now, had I did what maybe I should have did, it all depends on if you should have did this, okay? I shouldn't have made any repairs until I was able to duplicate it. That is a risky way to go by doing things, because you can lose your ass on doing it that way, okay? What do? You got a fault code, but it's not related to stalling. You go tell the customer, ma'am, I drove it. I cannot duplicate it. I have to duplicate it. Well, baby, the check engine light on. I said, but that's for a thermostat. That's for something else. What you want to hear from her is, go ahead and fix the check engine light and the thermostat, and I'll take it. So that lets you off the hook a little bit, but that wasn't the case. We told her, or we, basically in so many words, this will fix your car, you're stalling out. So we are now married to the car. All right. Man. Woo. Then on top of that, the bad news from all right. I know y'all tired of me venting, man. Whoa! 15 minutes. Okay, I gotta shut this down. I didn't mean for this to go this long. I'm just venting. I'm making no repairs. In fact, I hope my hands do not get dirty today. But I do have my mechanic clothes on because I'm in mechanic mode. I like the term technician, okay? Mechanic can mean a whole lot of other things. Technician. I'm a technician, okay? I figure things out. I analyze things. I, like a doctor. I'm not a mechanic. I am an automotive service technician. All right, guys, I gotta go, man. I'm hiding my frustration, but I'm really pissed. And on top of that, it's getting dark. Y'all know in Atlanta it get dark by 6 o'clock, so I gotta get back on this road. And if it stalls out on me, guys, I mean, you all gonna do what you gonna do. You know, especially like I say, we are money driven, and we're under time constraint. Okay, so it will be very ill-advised of me to tell you, do not write up an estimate until you duplicate the problem. Okay, because what's gonna happen is your history bank is gonna kick in. Last time I had that problem, it was a MAPSUNS. Maybe it's a MAPSUNS on this one. Let me write up a MAPSUNS. You're not gonna duplicate the problem because it could take forever to duplicate the problem. You're gonna base your past experience on stall out on whatever it was. It could be a bus. Last bus I had, it was a map sensor. So maybe that's the same thing as this one that causes a stall out. So be careful of that, guys. That's all I'm going to say on that, man. Just be careful. Yes, it'd be nice to duplicate the problem, okay? But it's taking... Let me go. This is frustrating. Thanks for watching. Comment and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next video.